All right, guys, and we're back. This is the live stream here at Palmer Aquatics, and we're going to be talking about the best fish food brands and some controversy in the industry regarding fish food brands. And I will actually claim defeat on this because I've done some videos in the past just bashing other brands. I have a video where I went into a Petco and I literally was just bashing. I went through on a lot of the fish food brands and just bashed a lot of the food analysis and such. And it's kind of wrong because I've been educated better now, and I gotta say, just watching a lot of the more experienced fish keepers and what they feed their fish, there's a couple variables when it comes to fish foods and what makes them better. First of all, number one, the longevity of how long the brand has been out and running. Like, for instance, because if you think about it, everything in life is that way. You're not going to go out to eat at a new place and know that you're going to get excellent service, excellent food every time. Like, you don't really know what you're getting. But when you buy a brand that's been around for like 20 years, and they've been doing it great. They've withstood all of the obstacles of people trying to sue them. They've had, and there's a couple mainstream fish food brands that come to mind. Like Hikari is one of them. Hikari has been around forever, and Tetra and Hikari are probably one of the most bashed brands in the industry because they're kind of like they've been around forever. They're mainstream. They're sold at Walmart, and anything sold at Walmart's kind of hyped up as crap. You know what I mean? So let's bring up the chat here, see if anybody is hanging out already. I apologize, it took a little longer than I thought on jumping into this next live stream. Seems a couple people are watching right now. We don't have a lot of people, but that's all right. So basically, I've been into this new thing lately, and it's trialing all different types of food. You know what I mean? And because I've been following Lucas Bretz, obviously a lot of you guys probably follow his YouTube channel. He is insanely good at breeding fish. He has so many tanks, and I think it's just it's nuts. And you need to take his advice on pretty much everything he talks about because he knows what the heck he's talking about. And he swears by the Tetra color granulars, and for the longest time I was like, man, he's feeding Tetra, and I pulled the trigger and went and bought some of these, and guess what? Lo and behold, the fish absolutely are crazy about them. And by the way, I'll throw links in the description box to all the foods I talk about. This one's kind of weird because it's not I hate flakes personally because I have a lot of larger size fish, and essentially flakes are extremely messy because I feel like bigger fish in size can't find them, or they're not looking for them necessarily, whereas these granulars, these are a perfect size for a lot of fish. Hopefully you can see this. I'm probably going to drop it all over my desk. My hands are dirty, but essentially so because of this find, I've got myself trialing all different types of food, and I think the key to fish foods is variety. Everyone talks about that, and the reason we talk about variety being the biggest thing is because there are so many unknowns when it comes to how they make these foods, because the analysis, essentially that's all they give us. The label on the back is extremely misleading, and essentially if you look at the ingredients in the order of the ingredients is it has the most potency level in here. It has the most amount in here. Like, number one is fish meal. So that is the heaviest product in here is fish meal. But if you think about it, a better analysis would be to, like, in this specific size bottle, the 300 grams, it should tell you how much fish meal of the 300 grams goes into there. There needs to be a better analysis, and this is getting super technical, but And if you're looking for the short answer of the best fish foods and not this long ran out answer, I would say right now the top fish foods are Northfin, Omega-1, Hikari, and New Life Spectrum. And I would say in order, New Life Spectrum, actually I don't even want to say in order because that's kind of, it's opinion based. I personally see, I admin hundreds of thousands of people in Facebook groups, so I constantly see what people are talking about. So I kind of am able to watch the trends essentially, what people are talking about. Let's hit up the chat a little bit. Aquanoob says, welcome back. Are those too big for neons? I would say these are too big for neons, but anything that next level up as far as tetras, these would be perfect, the granulars. And by the way, I'll throw a link in the description box to all these foods. So then that got me led down a path of just trialing different fish foods, and that's where I went with API. And API, you're thinking, oh, that's sold at PetSmart. I could never run API, you know what I mean? But lo and behold, the fish absolutely love these as well. This is the bottom feeder shrimp pellets. And what I've been doing is I've been comparing analysis between, like, these are both shrimp pellets of competitor brands, and this is the Omega-1 and this is the API. And then what I'm doing is going into the ingredients and seeing what they're using the most of. So the ingredients, the number one is whole fish meal in this. And the number one in this is whole shrimp. So does that mean it's better? The second one is whole wheat in this one. And the second one in this one is whole salmon. So, I mean, the verbiage on this one sounds better, right? But if you know if you know what it takes to make fish food, sometimes you need a lot more meal. Like Hikari is known to have a bad rap because, it's fish meal. Fish meal is always bad, right? That's actually not the case. Fish meal is a lot of times just used to kind of hold it all together, and it all kind of boils down to how you can use different jargon for different things, and that's where things are going south. And I think Hikari's been around for so long that they literally don't care what the verbiage has been the same on these bags for probably 20 years. You know what I mean? And they're not going to change it. These things, and a telltale sign is with a good fish food. A telltale sign is if your fish love it. Number one. Number two, are your fish coloring up? Number three, are your fish breeding? Number four, is it reflecting your water parameters? You know, because if the fish aren't eating it, it's sinking into your substrate, and that's not good because it's going to kill your water parameters eventually. So hopefully that gives you a good idea. The best foods. So at the end of the day, I just tell people, get the top 5 brands that have been around forever, throw in some variation, and also use live foods. You know, a lot of you guys keep cichlids. I talk about raw shrimp, raw tilapia, and it's great. Freeze dried. It kind of sucks because it gets expensive, but if you're looking to only buy like one food, a very good one is, there's a seller on Amazon I preach all the time, and they mix foods together. You can buy gourmet mixes of 10 brands of food mixed into one. Like, this is 7 different types of worms / shrimp in it's a what am I trying to say? A mixture of all different types. This has black worms, beef heart, brine shrimp, tubifex worms, and this also has spinach cubes, tetracolor bite cubes, plankton and mysis cubes. Like, this is a little more expensive, but this is the variation all mixed into one, and they even sell bags of it with all of these brands all mixed together of the granulars, the crisps, the God, my wife keeps texting me. What's going on, lady? She probably wants to watch a movie or something. All right, let's hit up the fish chat. Let's see how everyone's doing. We got some more people watching here. All right. Aquarium Monster says, squat up. All right. Happy Toe says, what's up, Palmer? Lisa's Fishbowl says, I'm posting a video soon. All right, Lee and Mandy, I just got a Jack Dempsey today. So glad I caught this video. Yeah, and I have a really cool Jack Dempsey video. If you search on YouTube for it, it comes up. I'm a huge fan of Jack Dempsey's. You guys see how colorful my Dempsey's are? I love them. Henry says, have you ever find feathers in those cubes, or is it just me, Chris? Feathers? I've never found feathers in these cubes. I don't know why you'd find feathers. What I don't like is they're kind of wasteful because they kind of like break down, and over time you wind up with this dust. And sometimes when they ship to your door, the dust is from all of the cubes. And the bigger the bag you buy, because I try to buy them in bulk, the more the dust the more dust there is because they're in a bigger bag and they're breaking down. I've been looking for a use for the dust because you'd think that would still be an effective food, but I found it destroys my water parameters. Maybe if I had a shrimp tank, you could like dip it in there and it would sink to the bottom. That would be great. But I don't have my shrimp tank right now, so it's kind of pointless to me. John Lee Marshall says, hey y'all, I have a 7-inch female flower horn. I have seen a male at around 3 inches. Will it work? A 7-inch female flower horn, that's a pretty big female. Will it work? I always see YouTube videos of male way bigger than females. Yeah, maybe join some Facebook groups on flower horns and make sure your 7-inch female is a female, because sometimes people mix that up. Or you can do a little research on what's called venting it, where you take the fish out, obviously with a net, and you flip it upside down and look at the genitalia in your hand. All right. Aquariums 101 says, I've also gathered that you like silver arowanas and I have 5. I absolutely love arowanas. I just did a video not too long. I'm trying to do all the species of arowanas, and I've been looking for some cool footage on the African arrow. Cheyenne says Hikari and Omega-1 are my favorite at Palmer Aquatics. Yes. Maybe let's feed the fish. I'll show you guys. I got some veggie. I have all kinds of food. This is just some of them. I got the veggie rounds from Omega-1 here. Let's feed the fish some of these tropical granulars, just because I'm obsessed with them lately. And shout out to Lucas Bretz for the find. We're gonna feed I have a bunch of tiger barbs. I've been obsessed with them lately. So we're gonna give this a little pour. And I always pour my fish foods in the lid because I've had catastrophic failures where you're trying to dump the jug into there and all of a sudden it goes bloop and you go, ah! And then you got a water change and it consumes 2 hours of your life because you gotta gravel vac and all that stuff. All right, so let me unplug the camera. Let's take a view. I'm gonna try to be real slow so I don't scare the fish. All right, so flip camera. And the lighting's not the best on this tank, but it's kind of cool. Oh my God. All right, let's turn on the light here, folks. Sorry. Don't use your hands for the feeding. All right, so as you can see, I've been adding up a bunch of tiger barbs. I have my keyhole cichlids. There's a fork in there from the zucchini I threw in there, or cucumber, whatever you want to call it. There's a bunch of silver dollars. There's a bunch of bushfish in here. All right, so here is the food. And don't mind this catastrophic mess down here. I have that tidal filter I'm doing a review on. I'm gonna set it up soon. All right, we're going for a feeding here. Try to do it in the middle. All right, let's watch these guys scarf this food. They're a little scared right now, you have to know, because I have a camera. But look at that, they absolutely adore that stuff. Here come the bushfish. African bushfish, spotted leaf fish, whatever you want to call it. All right, let's flip the cam here. But as you can see, I did a lot. I'm not worried about it because these guys are obsessed with this food and the tiger barbs go absolutely insane for it. Michael Johnson says I'm late. Yes, you are late, sir. Let's take a look at some other fish here. Let's feed these guys. What should we feed them? Let's feed them some Hikari, just to show you guys that Hikari's good stuff. All right, I'm all kittywampus here. Nice cichlid tank, thank you, sir. All right, where's that big jug of, one second, I'm gonna grab some omega-1 here. Or not omega-1, Hikari, sorry. And this is like the 3 mil. I feed this tank heavy too, so. All right, this is this stuff. I would say this is a 3 millimeter granular or so. Sorry if that's kind of. I'm not gonna flip the cam here because I want to show you guys the above here. So I'm just gonna give it the old dumperoo. We can watch them feed. Whoa, whoa, fellas. And I'm soaked. Thank you. I did a deep cleansing on this tank yesterday, and I want to show you guys. The pleco poop is insane. Look at this. I did a deep gravel vac on this tank. You can see that pleco back there. Look at that poop right there hanging off that pleco. That's one poop. That thing is a foot long. Oh, dude, that shows you all the work I did yesterday. Look at this crap. It's everywhere. They're splashing, got the tank dirty. I gotta get the plecos out of there and give them away to someone because they're driving me absolutely bonkers. That just shows you what they do to your water parameters, dude. Yeah, that's deep cleansing. That was a deep cleaning yesterday, dudes. All right. Everything's a mess now. It's hard to keep everything together. I'm also, I gotta quit saying, I'm trialing these. I've talked about them before, earthworm and blackworm sticks. I'm telling you, this seller on Amazon, Aquatic Foods Incorporated it's called or something, blackworm and earthworm sticks. Those gotta be, I know how good worms are for fish, and they gotta be just, the fish love them. And what's cool is they have so many different foods on there, and it's not prime, so you don't get it in a short amount of time, but you still get it in like 4 days, which is pretty good. So poop LMFAO says aquarium monster. Yeah, dude, the plecos, I don't want to get on a rant to get too off topic, but they are insane. So yeah, hopefully let's hit up the chat. What do you guys have to say about food? Hymer Aquatics says, what are the food discs that stick to the inside of the glass? That's a Tetra product, I'm pretty sure. A lot of people use those with live bears. Those are like, I'm trying to think the name of them. I'll figure it out here in a second. Trying to think, I think it's a Tetra, what are they called? Sarah? Oh, nips or something like that, I want to say. I don't know. I'm moving on. Someone else will reply. I buy my krill from Aquatic Foods on Amazon. Yes, they do sell a lot of krill. What's cool is they give you the analysis of the foods, and they're super on point with the analysis. Cheyenne says, Palmer Aquatics, tell omega-1 versus Hikari versus NLS, which is better? I'm going to go with NLS, and when I say NLS, I mean New Life Spectrum, but they're probably 2 to 3 times more the cost. And I know so many experienced fish keepers that feed only Tetra and Hikari, and their fish are breeding like nuts. So they've got me entirely convinced. Oh, Dope Aquarium says it's Cero Nip tabs. Yes, a lot of people love those because it gives you like the cosmetic visual, especially with live bears. They can be insane, and a lot of people, it's really cool. I don't get them, but I know Sarah makes a lot of cool foods, and I know Corey sells a lot of them. So you mentioned the African arowana, Palmer. I'm trying so hard to get one, but my local fish store cannot keep them alive because they're so sensitive, and even with the wholesalers. Yeah, I don't know anything about African arowanas, and I've even said I'm not a huge fan. But if you're looking for somebody that knows, actually, I'm not going to go down that wormhole right now. If you want to message me, you can about that. I do know some people that have some African arowanas, and you can ask them some questions. But Happy Toast says, I use Tetra Flakes food and Hikari pellets most of the time, and they have always done me good. All right. Henry says, ever tried Northfin? What are your thoughts on that? I do buy some of Northfin foods, and I really like some of the foods that have meds in them, made by New Life Spectrum, because they have some really good foods for like Africans and such that have meds in them. So I'm based in the UK, so wouldn't be able to get one shipped over. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. My wife wants to watch a movie, so it is Friday night, and I probably shouldn't sit in here all night like a complete loser, even though I would. It turns out you guys are pretty much sharing the same opinions as I am when it comes to fish foods, and it's that's why variety is huge with the best. As far as if you think or looking for the best fish foods, variety is key. Stick to the top brands and supplement in some live foods. You know, if you have catfish, don't forget to throw in the greens, some green beans, cucumbers. Corydorus catfish, love to nibble on them. It's just do some research, get yourself deep into the industry, in the forums, the Facebook groups, and a lot of good people will help you get the right foods. Some fish that come to mind that there's a lot of controversy around: betta fish. A lot of people misfeed betta fish. It's a huge problem to deal with, and then they get sick, and then it goes hand in hand. A lot of times, if your fish isn't getting adequate food, its health isn't up to par, and it gets sick. All right, guys, I'm gonna head out. Anthony says, calling me a complete loser, Chris? Question mark. No, I'm saying I'm a loser, but I'm okay with being a loser. This is my life. I love this stuff. Pretty soon, I'm gonna be able to sit in my shop and just be surrounded by like 100 fish tanks with auto water change system. It's just gonna be glorious. My daughter's gonna be running around through the aisleways, throwing her hands in tanks, feeding fish. I'm creating my dream slowly and surely. It's just, yeah, I guess I'm a weirdo. But all right, guys, everyone take it easy. Have a good night and enjoy your fish keeping. And if you want to give me more ideas, hit up the comment section. I'm always looking for ideas on different topics to help educate other people, because at the end of the day, we need to grow this hobby, because if we can get more people in the hobby, I can have more fish keeping friends, because I don't have very many locally, and this industry needs to grow. End of rant. All right, guys, I'm outie. And